All right, let's dive into one of the most baffling cosmic mysteries of our time. We're talking about a visitor from another star system, something called the Interstellar Glacier, Atlas. And the question at the heart of it all is huge. Is this thing just a natural wonder, or are we looking at something else?
So picture this. The year is 2025. It's July. A telescope, deep in the Rio Hurtado Valley in Chile, is just doing its nightly sweep of the sky when it spots something.
And honestly, that's what it looked like. A ghost. Just a faint little dot of light moving way, way too fast. A traveler that clearly didn't belong in our solar system. So, what do you do when you see something like that? Well, for the scientists on duty, there was only one thing to do. Track it.
And that brings us right to our first chapter, getting to know this mysterious visitor from the stars.
They gave this object a name, 3I Atlas. The I stands for interstellar, which means it came from a totally different star system. Its path was calculated to take it screaming right between the orbits of Mars and Earth, basically like a cosmic bullet. But this wasn't a social call. Its trajectory was a one-way ticket, heading right back out into deep space, never to return.
But here's the number that just blew everyone's minds. Atlas is estimated to be 7 billion years old. Seriously? Let that sink in for a second. Our sun? It's only about 4.5 billion years old. This thing formed around some other star 3 billion years before our solar system was even a thing.
An object that ancient from that far away? Well, it immediately set off some alarms. So it was time to treat this like a cosmic crime scene. And the evidence that started pouring in, it was really, really strange.
Okay, so the first bizarre clue came from its chemical signature. Normally, a comet gets near the sun and it starts spewing out mostly water vapor. But Atlas, its coma, that's the fuzzy cloud around it, was a whopping 87% carbohydrates. Water vapor was just a tiny 4%. I mean, that is a massive anomaly. It's like the universe was telling us that the rules we have for comets just don't apply here.
And the evidence just kept getting weirder. So, a normal comet is mostly water. Atlas was mostly carbs. Got it. But the second clue? Even stranger. See, in our universe, iron and nickel are basically born together in dying stars, and they travel together in space rocks. They're cosmic partners. But when scientists looked at Atlas, they found nickel, but zero trace of iron at all.
So, this is the big question, right? Did a 7 billion year trip through deep space somehow naturally strip away all the water and magically separate nickel from iron? Or were we looking at the chemical fingerprint of something that was deliberately, custom made?
And this is exactly where the story takes a sharp turn into some very controversial territory, all thanks to one very famous and, let's say, outspoken Harvard astrophysicist.
That astrophysicist is Avi Loeb, and he's known for asking these kinds of provocative questions. He did it before with that other interstellar object, Oumuamua, and he did it again with Atlas. He put the most sensational theory right on the table. Are we sure this isn't alien technology?
Loeb's case basically had three main points. First, he saw these tiny little wobbles in its orbit that gravity alone couldn't explain. He thought maybe, just maybe, it was a propulsion system. Second, the gas that was shooting out was pointed towards the sun, which, if you squint, could look like a braking maneuver. His conclusion? Maybe this isn't just a rock. Maybe it's an active alien probe.
Now, as you can probably guess, that is an extraordinary claim, and it was met with an extraordinary rebuttal from pretty much the rest of the scientific community. So now let's hear the counter-argument, the cold, hard logic of science.
So, about that weird trajectory, what Loeb called an artificial propulsion system, most other scientists call a comet doing comet things. It's a process called outgassing. As a comet gets near the sun, its ice turns straight to gas, shooting out in jets that act like tiny little rocket engines, pushing it around. We've seen this happen with countless comets in our own solar system. It's totally natural.
And what about that bizarre chemistry? The no water, no iron problem? Well, the most powerful explanation isn't technology, it's time. A whole lot of time. The leading theory is that after 7 billion years of getting blasted by cosmic radiation, the object's surface basically got baked. All the water ice evaporated, leaving behind a tough, carbon-rich crust. So what we were seeing wasn't an alien hull, but an ancient cosmic shell.
And then there's maybe the biggest piece of evidence against the probe theory. Look, if Atlas was sent here to study us, you'd think it would, stick around.
try to get into orbit. But it's doing the exact opposite. It's flying away so fast, it's gonna escape our sun's gravity completely. It's on a one-way trip out of town, and it's never coming back.
So where does all this leave us? Well, as we head into the final chapter of this story, we had one last, fleeting chance for answers, and a pretty chilling idea to think about.
The timeline for getting a final answer is really tight. On October 30th, Atlas made its closest swing by the Sun. That was our last, best chance to get a good look at it. The European Space Agency had orbiters around Mars that were perfectly positioned, gathering crucial data as it flew by just 30 million kilometers away. That data is being analyzed right now, but the truth is, we might never know for sure.
And that uncertainty brings us to this idea that Avi Loeb talks about a lot, the dark forest hypothesis. It's one of the darkest answers to that big question, where are all the aliens? The theory goes like this: space is a dark forest, and it's filled with silent hunters. The smartest thing any civilization can do is stay completely quiet. Because the moment you make a sound, the moment you reveal you're there, you invite your own destruction.
And that leaves us with one final haunting question. Was Atlas just a 7 billion-year-old chunk of space rock, a bizarre cosmic oddity that shows us how strange the universe can be? Or was it something more? A relic from a civilization that died long ago, a silent probe that shut itself down to survive its long journey, whispering a warning from the dark forest. A warning that we, in our rush to analyze its chemistry, just completely missed? We may never know.